Hello, everyone. Old friends, new friends, people just kind of curious. I welcome you to the Advancement Center here in Santa Barbara. And welcome to the world of magic and miracles that do come true. Yes, our message of welcome is broadcast to you wherever you are, as long as you have a reception. And I mean that deeply, a receiving of what's real and what's true. 7 plus 2, 7 times a week. That's amazing. The Advancement Center started out, pardon me, in 2014, and Robert Young, our founder, my husband, he broadcast all by himself, maybe 3 times a week. And it was amazing. And then one day, he assigned Sunday to me. He said, from now on, you're going to broadcast. I said, really? And then he turned to Genya and said, and Tuesday for you. And then at that time, David had just been here for about a year. And he said, and David, you'll wrap up the week on Friday. And then Robert continued. It was amazing. And it all happened in 2018. And that was 6 years ago. Yeah. Up until that time, we had been rapt listeners to Robert as he spoke of the unknown, from where he had come. Now, some of you may not know this, but Robert Young came to Earth in 1986. And at that time, I don't know where you were, but at that time, I was living on the opposite coast, meaning Connecticut. Yeah. No, at that time, I was living in New York. But upon reflection, in 1986, I felt something that I did not know and did not understand. I felt that I had to move. I had to change location. I had to change the home I was living in. I moved from New York to Connecticut just because I had to move. And of course, in hindsight, I realized I was starting my true voyage to my future. And it took until 2009 for me to cross the country, attend seminars, work at different jobs, meet people, leave people, live in different areas, take courses. And in 2009, there for a workshop, in quotes, I met Robert. And it was like meeting an old friend who I had known forever. And that's when my life began. For real. Yeah. It's amazing because in 2018, when Robert assigned us, who have been Wrapped listeners, to broadcasters, we said he gave us that lift over the fence. I don't know what the fence was, but he kept taking us beyond our expectations. And all of a sudden, I look at that fence, and I made a little note here. The fence was built over the years as each of our lives. Yeah, that fence was built. Through our education, separation, discrimination, and being kept occupied by the voice of the media selling to us 24 hours a day. And that fence melted, and we walked right through and embraced each other as we began broadcasting. I don't know how long this may be your first visit, or you may have been following us the whole time. Yeah. And then, after we were boosted over that fence, a few years later, our dearest Kathleen traveled to Scotland. And in hindsight, we can now say she had to go there to bring Adrian back, because Adrian was immediately recognized as more than just a Scotsman wearing a kilt. He became a wonderful broadcaster. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Kathleen and Adrian soon married, and the wedding took place right here at the Advancement Center. And it holds all the wonder, the beauty, and the love of that day to this day. As a matter of fact, the first time I ever saw this place, and I walked around and I stood on the patio and noticed the breezeway, and I said, there's going to be a wedding here. I could feel it. So pay attention to when you feel something that just seems to come out of the blue, because who knows? It may be your next adventure. It's always such a pleasure to be here with you and talking about the real, not the made up media stuff, but the real. Now, I have a few points here. Oh, right. Yes, just this past week, we received an amazing gift from someone I've never met in the amount of $88.88 from a beautiful woman by the name of Nicole. And And I looked up 88. That makes me think of piano. 88. And then I looked it up and it says, in numerology, the number 8 represents balance. Between the spiritual and material world. Yes, that's very accurate. It's associated with success, material wealth, and the infinite flow of energy. And then you know what happens when you turn the number 8 on its side is infinite, infinity. Don't you remember being absolutely captivated by the idea of infinity when you were a child? That was better than forever. Infinity. No end. What could be better than that? Happiness forever. Yeah. Yeah. That's all so special. Now, as keeper of our precious library, you can imagine every one of these broadcasts is captured, recorded, Mr. Dragon transcribes, and then we edit, and we have a permanent record of wonderful stories, wonderful expressions that you will not find anywhere else. So, as I was looking through, as I do in preparation for these broadcasts, I found something called the Word. And you know, when you read something that absolutely connects with your heart of knowing, well, then I know that this had to be part of my broadcast. Yeah. So here it is. Here is the Word. I just thought of the word. We fling it around, we use it, we change it, we alter it. It's always at our fingertips, on our tongues, all the time. But the Word, listen, every word is a dimension unto itself. Every word you speak is connected to a realm where you live, a place where you know, and that word is the door to that place. Every delivery of words or a word from another takes you gently or violently tumbling out of the comfort of your own world into the current state of theirs. Isn't that true? Think about it. If you're sitting alone in a meditative state, nothing happening, nothing sounding, and all of a sudden, One word can disrupt or enhance. That was my side note. That could be peace, joy, calmness, happiness, excitement, or it could be fear, sadness, judgment, doubt, or pain and suffering. All things are being orchestrated for the growth and expansion of each being. So this is not a judgment. It is simply an awareness of the immense power that exists within the spoken word. We can feel things within people's energy that is present, even if they don't speak. But once you speak the words, the dimension actually opens. And the gravitational pull of that dimension is like a black hole pulling you with the same force into something that might be called positive or something that might be called negative. This is why we all thrive in the stillness of the silence, in the comfort of our own world, apart from all influence in any direction. We must leave that comfort in order to grow and expand, to surpass, and then transcend the discomfort so that it no longer even exists. The physical world and all its doors to dimensions outside of your own dimension is the catalyst for that growth and expansion. It is the laboratory that is used to shine the light on what disturbs your world and what in your world disturbs others. This light is white hot, and at first glance, you want to turn it off, but then you see that it is searing off the parts of you that are not in alignment with the true you. Yes. Once you experience this, you begin to run to that light and desire it above all the man-made light that may have hidden what you need to see about yourself. Say to the light, tell me everything I need to know so that I might have the fat of my vanity burned off, so that I might have the day of my self-righteousness burned off, so that I might have the fat of all those things that I've held on to in my making my human reality, my primary reality, taken away for good. When you are on the so-called same wavelength as another, the moving between dimensions becomes seamless and is more times than not done telepathically. You are operating at a similar vibration and at a frequency that is within the same bandwidth. These are more than likely your soul family that came to earth to be with you, to give you comfort, to overcome that feeling of being alone here in the physical world of matter. There is a natural resonance between you, but there is always some necessary fine-tuning of the frequencies of each one, as they may be slightly out of alignment from the influence of the physical world. But the base frequency will always have the proper harmonics to go back into resonance with a small adjustment by those that might act as a conductor would as they are tuning the instruments of the symphonic orchestra before a performance. As I read that wonderful piece to you, it became the perfect description of what we here at the Advancement Center experienced just a few short days ago. We sat around the table having an exquisite dinner and realizing that we were all on the same wavelength of love and harmony. We were telepathically and outspokenly enjoying the love, the support, and the wonders of being together once again. And we called it Happy Thanksgiving. Don't let any opportunity to share in this manner with dear friends and new friends. There are people waiting to be in touch with you and to have you in touch with them. And that is the harmony and the love and the acceptance that all of humanity is yearning for. That's so much a part of our message. Yes. It's such a pleasure to share and know that you're right there with me. I have more wonders here, but I just peeked at the time. And so I'm going to save this for next Sunday because it's now time to show the art. And before I show the art, which is always my joy, last night, Robert, who has been looking at my latest pastel, called me outside at sunset time. And he walked me to a special place right near the garage. And this is what I saw. There. Can you see it? That was the greatest compliment I can imagine, because this is what I drew 3 days before. And here it is. I hope you like it. And all of a sudden, it became so clear to me that to capture the beauty that the artist might be feeling is a service. I don't know where that came from, but I enjoyed it. And I've been enjoying it. It's really all so wonderful. So paint your picture. Pastels, oils, or beautiful thoughts. And watch what can happen. It can translate into your physical world. Who knows? But with all that love, you're headed for a perfect life, which is our wish for you, and with perfect health and a brilliant future filled with dreams, creativity, friends, old and new, and a heart that is so filled with love and harmony. Thanks for joining me. I am Barbara.